Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Do you hear that noise? Do you hear that blowing? That's the air conditioning. I hope that's not distracting. Sometimes I think you guys can hear something and then I can't hear it in the playback, and then other times I think, oh, they're not going to be able to hear that, and then it's a really annoying sound. So if you can hear the air conditioning going right now, I apologize. It's a gray and gloomy day here. It keeps doing that to me on filming days. So what am I going to do? You guys, if you ever had that day where it's like, okay, the day before you get ready, just like normal, everything's fine, you wear your normal everyday stuff, it's all good. And then the next day you start to get ready and you grab your foundation and you start to put it on, you start to blend it in, you're like, holy bijop, what is happening here? Like overnight, your skin changed, you know, by like 7 foundation shades because it's summertime now, and so now your everyday foundation that you just kind of slap on and go is now like 7 shades too light for you, and now you just gotta make it work. That's what happened to me today. Sometime between yesterday and today, you know, my tan like exploded and my foundation is now too light, so I'm gonna have to go dig out some of my darker shades. And if you haven't thought about that, go do that today or tomorrow. Go dig out your darker foundation shades, or if you haven't got any, go pick them up, because, you know, chances are before too long your foundation shade is going to need to change as well if you do anything outside. So, and I haven't really done that much outside, but I do tan very easy, which is surprising for, you know, a redhead. I'm light complected, but I do tan very darkly. And so my color range, I mean, I keep an entire color range of foundations just for myself, because I can make all of them work. And the darkest, like chocolate brown, dark ones, I mean, obviously that's not going to be all over my skin, but when I'm really, really tan, those are perfect contour shades for me. So I literally run the entire gamut, and just between yesterday and today, I need to change my shade by about 7 shades. On a foundation range that has a lot of foundations, okay? If it's a foundation range that has like 10 colors, I obviously don't need to go 7 shades. Okay, so think about that. If you haven't changed your foundation yet, sometimes we just get in the routine and we don't think about it. It's early in the morning and you're tired and you gotta get to work and blah, 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 and you're not even thinking about that stuff. But if it hasn't happened to you yet, it's probably gonna happen soon. So either dig them out so you're ready, or make sure you've stocked up so you're ready, or whatever you need to do so you're ready if you know you're going to get some sun at any time in the summer. Okay, so weekly favorites. It's Friday. Woo! And so we're going to talk about the products I've been playing around with this week. And I don't have as many. I feel like I don't have as many as I normally do, so maybe I haven't been playing that much this week. I don't really know. But, you know, we'll cover what I have played with anyway. So the first thing is I pulled out this Bath & Body Works Signature Collection Eau de Toilette. And this is the Velvet Tuberose. So Velvet Tuberose, the description is night blooming white tuberose, ylang ylang, Indian jasmine, and rare diamond orchid. I feel like this is a scent that's heavy on the jasmine and the orchid. It is a fairly floral scent, and I think I don't reach for it very often because of that. So this is what, you know, the bottle looks like. And mine also, from the get-go, my little pumper thing was never on there right, and won't, I mean, it works, but it won't snap on, so it's always been like wiggly and kind of leaky. This is one that I will say that for some people, they're gonna feel like this is too floral. It doesn't really bother me, but it's very borderline for me on being too floral. But there is and I think it's probably, it might be the ylang ylang. There's just this sweetness that kind of punctures through the floral, and that's the only saving grace for me that keeps this as a fragrance that I can do, because the other scents are very floral. Yeah, there's just that punch of sweetness, and that sweetness it's an intense sweet. It kind of reminds me of something like, oh geez, am I going to be able to think of something? Like the old Happy perfumes, or the old, who was the designer? It was very big in like the late 80s. And she had the perfume lines that were very popular. Can I think of it? There's also another scent, and it's escaping me, so I'm gonna have to like Google it or wait till my brain kicks in and starts working. But I will list it here. That really sweet note reminds me of that fragrance, and it's kind of like puncturing through. So at first you're kind of like, ooh, floral note, but then you're like, wait, I smell it, sweet. Yeah, okay, it's good. I'm good, we're good with it. Okay, so this one I think is probably borderline for a lot of people, but if you have this one, I actually am not even sure if you can still get this at Bath & Body Works. If this is still a scent that they sell, I need to look that up. Because I really don't pay attention to Bath & Body Works and Victoria's Secret that much anymore. You know, I used to work in that industry and had let it go for a while, so I don't pay that much attention. They're not always my favorite. You know, it's not like my favorite brand in a lot of ways. So, I don't pay attention to the scents that come and go with them as much as I should anymore, like I did years ago. So I need to look that up and see if they still sell it. But if they don't, and if you have this already, then pull it out. I mean, that's why I'm showing it to you, because I remembered that I had it and I pulled it out, and I've been enjoying it all week. Okay. Next thing, nail polish. Follow me on my Instagram if you want to see nail stuff, because that's where I've been putting it. And there's a link to my Instagram down in the information bar. So I pulled out the Sinful Colors Professional nail polish. This was a, I forget what the name, like Sugar Rush or something was the name of the limited edition collection for this. But this one is called Candy Coated. And it's a gorgeous, you know, lilac purple, very opaque. It's definitely like a lilac-y lavender color, but there's almost a hint of periwinkle to it. It's almost like if it were a few notches over, it could be, you know, leaning towards periwinkle. So, but really pretty color, and I really enjoyed this color on my nails. This is one of those colors that every time you kind of notice your nails, you're like, gosh, that's really pretty. You know, you enjoy it the whole time. So it's one of those colors you don't get tired of. It just is really pretty. So love that one. Let's see, eyeshadows. And I am going to have, or already have, a first impression video of this product up. So look for that. If it's not already up, it will be very soon. It's the Avon True Color Eyeshadow Duo in Almond Biscotti. And if I have already posted it, then I will list the link down in the information bar. And if not, then just watch your subscription feed, you know, coming up like we always do, and you will see it when it gets posted. Okay, so this is 2 eyeshadow colors. It's a duo by Avon. You know, Big Mirror, Sponge Tip Applicator. These are 2 matte colors, and this one I think is like the perfect brow shade too. So if you're looking for a brow powder, you might consider this for that as well. But these are mattes, so both shadows are mattes. So this vanilla, they're called Soft Vanilla and Black Brown. The vanilla color you can see here, but you're probably not going to see it on my hand. Maybe, but probably not, because it's basically the same color as my hand, and it's matte, so, you know, it's not going to reflect or anything. But, you know, it's a vanilla shade, and it's, you know, similar to my skin tone. So if that's a color that you are in need of, and it's matte. And this is the brown, the black brown. To me, it's almost like a dark. It's not even a chocolate brown. It's almost it's like a dark taupey brown in a way. There's no gray or purple or anything in it, but it's, for lack of a better, you know, term or description, you know, that's what it is. So there you have that. These are and let me just blend a little for you so you can see kind of how that blends out. So, you know, just a nice sort of standard duo, you know, easy to use. It's very neutral. It's not really warm or cool. So, I mean, this is kind of like the no-brainer palette where you don't even really have to think about it. You know, it's a neutral color, so it will go with everything, and just put it on and go, right? But it's also a good palette to mix with other palettes that you have. You know, so if you have that palette that's all shimmers and shines and metallics and glitters and everything else, and you need a matte, you know, this is a good palette to have kind of on hand, so you can just pull it out and there's your matte colors. So just a standard 2 shadow, easy palette. Link is down in the information bar if you're interested in it. Next up, some rings. These are the Linear Metals 3-piece ring set. I have them in gold tone and in size 8. They also come in silver tone. And it's 3 rings that you can kind of mix and match and stack however you want. So the first one, let's see. There's one that is open on the top. It's got these 2 balls. I mean, of course you could turn it over if you wanted to and just have it be like a gold band, but it's open at the top with these 2 kind of gold balls on either side. The next one is, I don't know, it's just got a gold bar across it. You know, my instinct is to call it like it looks like a cross, but it's not a cross, and it doesn't really look like a cross, but you basically have the gold band with a gold bar across the top. And then the third one, which is really my favorite one, and the one that like got my attention for this anyway because it's so different, is a gold band, but it has that chain. Do you see that chain? It just goes across the top. I mean, this is so different. Like you've seen rings with chains before, like, you know, a chain that connects 2 rings together and that kind of thing, but just a simple chain across the top. I mean, I've never seen anything like that before. So, I mean, you can wear these separate. I showed these on my Instagram with me wearing them kind of like on separate fingers, but, you know, they stack together really well because they've got, you know, I mean, they all just kind of fit together nicely. So you can sort of do whatever you want. Now, they're all the same size, so like I can't really, wiggle the table. I can't really wear them on this finger because this finger is significantly smaller than these 2 fingers. This finger is like an 8, this is like an 8.5. This finger is like a 6.5 or a 7, depending on how wide the band is. You know, you generally wear a 7 if it's a wider band because it hits, you know, the sort of fatty pad on your finger. But for skinny bands, it's like a 6.5. So they fall off this finger. So I can really only keep them on these 2. They're not small enough to wear as a midi ring for me. But you can get them as small as a size 6, I think. So if you have, if your fingers are generally larger, like if your fingers here are like a size 10, then the size 6 might fit nicely as a midi ring for you. So, you know, you can mix and match the sizes. Like you can get multiple sizes, or you could get, you know, multiple, you know, both colors too. Mix and match sizes and colors, and just, you know, mix and match the rings to your little heart's content. But obviously you can wear them by themselves if you want to as well. So there's really no rules with these, and that's what I like about it. So that's what one looks like on my smaller finger. 6 is, I don't think I could get away with a 6 on this finger though, but. So this one, I mean, it's on there, but if I wiggle and walk, it's going to fall off. But anyway, you know, I really like this style. I've always been a ring girl. I mean, I prefer rings over all of the other kinds of jewelry choices. I'm much more likely to grab a statement ring than a statement necklace. Although I'm doing more statement necklaces these days, but I've just always been a ring girl. That's an easy statement piece that you can throw on no matter what you have on, you know, anywhere else, and just go. So rings for me are like, do it for me, so I've enjoyed those. Okay, next is well, let me do this one first. Next is a lipstick, and this is one of the Color Sensationals by Maybelline. This was the color Smooth Taupe, which was number 860. Now, this color is not going to look good on most people unless you play with it, because it's a very chalky, very like pasty dead color. If you're really, really super, you know, if you're very dark complected, this is a, you know, good neutral, but I would still say you're probably going to have to either add some gloss or something to it to give it a little bit of life, because like I said, it is a very sort of chalky kind of color. It's very pasty sort of looking. But, you know, there's a lot you can do with it. So even though I say that, that doesn't mean like don't use it if you have it or whatever. It just means that you need to work with it. So if I just put this on, I mean, this is like concealer. This looks like a concealer, right? For somebody like me. So if I just put this on, the first thing that you will notice is it applies color, but the color, because it's kind of thick and pasty sort of, it doesn't get down into the creases of my lips, which is mistake number one. That's the first thing that kind of makes you look off, is when you don't get the color kind of evenly distributed. One way you can avoid that is by applying your lipstick with a lip brush, because the lip brush, just the way that we apply it, first of all, we always go like this, and when we're putting something on with a brush, we go, right? And we kind of stretch our skin out so we get in there naturally, but just because the brush, you're painting it on, and so you get into those cracks and crevices, and you apply a more even application in the first place. So the first thing you can do to fix this is use a lip brush, right? I would say I do like to have a lip balm on when I use this one as well, just to kind of help it smooth itself out a little bit. It doesn't really feel drying on the lips, but I just like the balm there. You know, some of you might want to use a lip liner of some sort to add a base of color and put this over the top. Some of you might use this to do ombre. Don't call it ombre, I hate that, but you know, to kind of blend a liner in, and you might use this just kind of in the center to sort of brighten it, but you're still going to have to work with this because that could still just be, looks like a glop of death on your lips. Okay, so you're going to notice these things as I put this on. Okay, so very chalky, very, doesn't blend. My pigmentation is really obvious around the edges. And yes, I can kind of, you know, I can work with this around the edges and that kind of thing, but I really don't want too much, because it really doesn't get any better. Like, you can't, the more and more and more you add, the more pasty it looks. So this is one, you kind of want to put it away and then take some away. One thing this does is, just based on the color and the way that the thickness of it, it makes it look like you have that line. Have you ever had a lipstick that gathers right here where your lips touch? It gathers into like a ridge of yuck. Okay, or sometimes for people when they wear too much lip gloss, they get that glob of lip gloss there that strings, and you just want to, like, that just makes me gag. It makes me want to throw up in my mouth or throw up everywhere. It's just not good, right? So this does that. You can see it doing that right here. So first off, you're going to have to work the product in the inner portion of the lips. But what I like to do with this is I like to put it on, and then with my finger, I really like to work it in. I like to remove, I'm actually removing a lot of it, but what I'm not doing it to remove it, I'm doing it to work it into the cracks and crevices. So I'm going to put it on, and then I'm just going to work with it for a little bit. Okay? I'm going to soften that line of demarcation around the edge. I'm definitely going to soften it here in the middle. And what I'm doing is I'm just pressing it into the cracks and crevices. Okay? So before, when I put it on, it kind of skimmed, bumped over them, right? It bumps over those crevices and it doesn't get down in there. So I'm getting it down in there and smoothing it out. And what you will see is that, and I'm not taking it off. I mean, a little bit is coming off, but I'm working it in, And now it's a much more wearable, kind of light, pretty, natural nude color. Now, on top of this, if I wanted to, I could add a little bit of gloss to kind of give it a little life or some shine or what have you. But I went from this being totally not really wearable to now it's wearable, it's acceptable, I can go out looking like this. Now, what I will tell you is, as this wears off, it wears off in a little bit of a funky way. So you do want to kind of keep your eye on it a little bit, because just like it didn't go into the crevices when I put it on, it skips over the crevices. As it wears off the top, but it doesn't wear off in the crevices. So as it wears off, it does the opposite of what it did when you put it on. So what you will see is that you have these lines of color because it's down in the cracks and creases of your lips. So keep your eye on it as the day goes by. You might want to either touch it up or kind of give it another rub over, or add a little gloss to kind of spread it out again, or what have you. But it's not horrible, and it doesn't happen really quickly. It's just my little warning of keep your eye on it. I don't want you to like have a bunch of really important meetings all day long, and then at the end of the day see yourself in the mirror and freak out because you feel like you look like a total wackadoo all day, right? I'm just giving you the warning to keep your eye on it. So if you have that one, pull it out. It's still a good one. It is wearable. You can use it. You just have to work with it. Okay? A lot of people would have just put that on and been like, oh no, this is not good for me, and been done with it. There's a lot you can do with this. And with a pretty, like a pink or a peachy gloss that you can kind of see through over this, gorgeous. Like any of the NYX butter glosses over it, the ones that are a little less solid opaque and lighter color would be gorgeous. That would be a gorgeous nude. And you could still go around and do some lip liner if you wanted to, like a nice, let's see, you know, any kind of like a tea colored brown or something, or a mauve color around the edges would be gorgeous as well. But speaking of the NYX butter glosses, I wanted to show you one that I've been playing around with this week. This one is called Devil's Food Cake, and this is one that is, you know, it's not for somebody that's afraid of color. This is like a very dark, it's more plum, but it's kind of like a burgundy plum, if there is a such thing. And, you know, I thinned it out on my hand so you can kind of see through it a little bit, but, you know, these are very opaque. I mean, the butter glosses, I mean, everybody knows we love these butter glosses, but some of these colors you don't see as often. This is going to be a great one for fall, but I would wear this through the spring and summer too, because you know, it's just a bright pop of color. So really pretty. I've been playing around with this one. I tend, when I get these kind of things, I tend to get like a dark, you know, like the darkest one and the lightest one, and you know, I sort of collect them over time. So I always get a dark one and a light one. So you've seen me using Eclair a lot, but I've also been using this one as well. Really pretty, really like it. And I think that's it for this week. So I still managed to ramble on for 20 minutes like I always do. So even though there was less stuff, I guess I showed you a little more this time. Where normally I have a lot more to show you and it takes more time just to show you because there's more stuff. This time I was able to go into a little more detail, like with the lipstick. So what have you been playing around with this week? What are some of your favorites? What are some of your misses? Are there any products that you didn't work out for you, but now that you've seen, you know, how you can maybe work with something a little bit, you think you're going to go back and try it again and maybe try some more techniques with it? You know, what's going on with you? What have you been up to this week that way? I want to know. I want to know what your favorites were, what you didn't like, what you pulled out. You know, tell me what you pulled out that you forgot that you had and have pulled out and played with again. Okay. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and tell me how you're doing down in the comments, because I like to get to know you. And I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay. Then, let me get these off my fingers so that I don't get them everywhere, because I'm going to demo a lipstick for you in a minute, and I have one brown shadow on my lips because I forgot to clean off my hand. Hold on. What's that from? Like some kind of old TV show or something, I feel like. Does that ring any bells, anybody? Hold on. I don't know. I feel like a old Mayberry type show or something. I don't know. Whoops, I got two. Whoops. Oh well. You guys want to come say hi? You can say hi to the people? Sorry, nose itching.